I think there is always an issue in the society. No, I don't think. I guess. No, I know. There is always an issue in the society. We always have a conversation to talk about in the society, whether it's positive or negative, whether we'll change your life in a positive way or in a negative way. But as human beings, we always have something to talk, a conversation to talk about in the society. And this time round, I want us to discuss about this conversation. This is an issue in the society. I think it's affecting us in a negative way, not in a positive way. Yeah, another thing I know, because this thing actually there are things going around in the society. These are things we live in the society. What do you think about this thing, and what do you think we can do about this thing? So I was doing my research, and I found out that each and every day the rate at which HIV and AIDS rise is it has 61%. 61%. Most of people there, especially the age from 15 to 29. This is alarming. It's so alarming that most, especially youths, are in danger. And I was asking myself, what about in 40 years to come? Where will we be as the youth? Where will be as the generation to come? And you know what? This is the generation we're talking about, that maybe in some years to come, we're talking about the leadership. We're talking at the leadership. Do you think that we'll have a strong leaders? Why are we growing weaker? Because what about, do you think if we are already sick, we will not be strong, we'll be weak? So what do you think about this conversation? So welcome back to this amazing platform. Remember that this is where I talk about amazing conversation. Remember that this is where we talk about the reflection of the society. And remember that the Power Amazing Conversation makes tomorrow better. Welcome back to this amazing platform. Karibuni sana. So I was doing my research, and I have to walk around as always. To ask some simple question to some youths, and I found out that this thing, it has become something really alarming. What do you think? What should we do about this thing? Where do you think we miss the mark? We miss the mark. Where do you think we really miss that mark? Because actually, when I found out, I tried to do my research, and I found out that most youth, especially young teenagers, nowadays most teenagers always involve themselves in dirty stuff. You can't even remember, you can't even imagine the dirty stuff they involve themselves. And when you ask what is really going on in the society, so what do you think we should do? Because when we try to arrange this thing, maybe something like in 40 years to come, nothing, we are really messing up the society. And the bad thing of it is this: most religious leaders are just quiet about this thing. So what do you think we should do about this thing? Because we find out that most guys, especially maybe religious leaders, are really quiet about this thing. They don't want to talk about this thing. And when we look about this thing, maybe let's say something like 40 years to come, where we'll be as the young generation, as the young youth, will be weak already. Because you find out now, most children are being born already sick. Yeah, most children are sick already. So let's say the coming entire generation will be sick. So this thing, there's nothing here that we should do as the generation, maybe in coming generation, to change the life of these people, if we can't start right now. So what do you think? Yeah, remember that this is where we talk about the reflection of the society, and these are what is going. Because wacha tuseme hivi, What about tukiwapea maybe something like 40 years? No, the society is just rotten. So who do we blame here? Do we blame the parents that they have neglected their work as the parent, or do we neglect the children themselves? Who do we blame here? Who have abandoned who? Who have abandoned who? Yeah, who have abandoned who? So what about if you say that maybe parents are busy because the economy is bad, so you have to go work and look for how these kids will eat? So do we blame that kids don't even take their time to do 1, 2, 3, or do we blame the parents that they've invested their time maybe in work, job, something like that, so until they have neglected their children? So who do we blame in this situation? Yeah, who do we blame in this situation? Most kids nowadays, especially in slums, they blame their parents. But you find out that parents still blame their kids. They say that they have a lot of work to do. Most of the time they find themselves, involve themselves in work. So at the end of the day, they bring something to table. So they don't even have time to talk to their children. So who do you blame? Because especially right now, most teenagers, they have already involved themselves in watching pornography. So what should we do as a generation? Because I think itafika mahali tutakuwa tunaenda matanga after matanga. So are you sure, or do you think this thing is making any sense at all? Do you think this thing is making any sense at all? Why should we go to matanga after matanga after matanga? Why should we prevent it right now? Because we say that prevention is better than cure. Why should we prevent it before it reaches that time of cure? Okay, so as a parent, what should we take? Most parents nowadays say that kids wamekuwa vichwa ngumu sana, watoto wa siku hizi wamekuwa vichwa ngumu sana. Yeah, because I was reading the comments there, and most parents were complaining that most kids wamekuwa vichwa ngumu. So what should we do? What should we do as a parent? What should you do as a parent to nurture us as a youth? You know, kitambo nilikuwa nasikia wazazi wa kitambo walikuwa nasema like kitambo walikuwa na double in that mtu angetokelezea from nowhere akuja chape mtoto wako and you will not even question it. So adabu ilikuwa pale in that ukifanya kitu you feel like no, ole mama anaweza nichapa, you know, cause even hata kaa juu mzazi wako but he could do something, he will do something to you. Compared to this generation that kila mtu anamewacha afanye shughuli yake. So do you think we should bring back the punishment to these kids at least to make their future to be in a brighter way? So ladies and gentlemen, I have to wind it there, and we have a lot to talk about. So what do you think about this conversation? I always talk about this conversation because the way is the rise of HIV and AIDS is alarming there. It's really worried, and I'm always worried that where will we be in future as the generation, as the young generation, because we are the leaders of tomorrow. So this is a conversation we should talk about each and every time. So drop your comment there about what you think about this conversation, and what do you think we should do as the generation to change the mentality of youths. Remember that this is the Power of Amazing Conversation, and this is where we talk about the Power of Amazing Conversation. Remember that this is where we talk about the reflection of the society. The Power of Amazing Conversation makes your tomorrow better. See you in the next video.